All of a sudden, for reasons I do not understand and cannot explain, people are becoming very, very conspiracy minded. Let me just use that term because it's a term which is used incorrectly, as you can imagine. Conspiracy doesn't mean crazy. Conspiracy merely details the groups of people or how something is organized. That's all it means. And what a conspiracy means is specifically two or more guilty people working together to try to bring something about or to cause something to occur. Basically, that's it. It does not mean crazy. It just deals with the group of people. That's all it does. It just deals with the group of people and how this organization is itemized in terms of, think of it as a dozen. Think of it as a group of people who are two or more who are basically conspiring. It doesn't mean crazy. Now, for reasons, and we'll get to theoretically the I was going to talk about the Luigi story because rumors are that he's gay, and I don't know if that matters, but why would somebody why would it's so funny. I said, I'm hearing, he's gay. And somebody said, "Well, why does that matter?" I said, "Excuse me? Every time I turn around, I'm being told LGBT, gay this, gay that. I'm bringing it up. Why are you running from it? Why are you running from the fact that it's gay? What are you talking about?" Well, it's just to say, "No, I don't really understand. What's what?" So we'll talk about that for a moment. But let me explain to you what's the most important. We're going to be talking about, and let me just ask you very, very quickly. How many of you fine folks have ever heard of Project Bluebeam? Just yes or no? Just because you're considered hip. How many of you heard of Project Bluebeam? Anybody understand this? Bluebeam. Mr. Rex? John says yes. I have heard it. Good, 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 good. We're going to be talking about that. Good. See, all of a sudden, for some reason or another, people are enjoying these things. For example, Candace Owens all of a sudden discovered 9/11. Hey, I heard that there's these dancing Israelis. It's like, Candace, where have you been? What were you, 12 at the time? We've known all about it. And did you know that maybe, so, good that she's talking about it. Uh, uh, Charlie Kirk, who said, one of my favorites, Charlie Kirk gave this thing and he says, "Holy F." Oh, this is Charlie Kirk. "We are effed. The drones, capital letters, are Project Bluebeam. Look for vids of them transforming from balls of light to planes when filmed to see for yourself." No, well, this is Charlie Kirk News. So I guess this is different. This is a fan page. I don't know if it's Charlie per se, but that's not what Bluebeam is. The government is not investigating there. Doing no. That's not what Bluebeam is. That's not it. But what's interesting is prior to the president taking office, nobody even cared about this stuff. Nobody even talked about it. Now they're talking about it. Now they're interested. So think about this very carefully, my friends. We're going to be talking about some very, very serious stuff. We're going to be talking about a lot of other, and I'm going to tell you about Bluebeam, and we're going to be talking. And by the way, if you have not subscribed to this newsletter, you better hurry up because at 10 a.m. Eastern time, the latest one drops. So make sure you sign up now. I've got the link in the description section and in the comments at the very top. So go and sign up right now because you're going to be, because now people love to hear this, and I'm going to throw out all this stuff that you're going to find absolutely fascinating. But first, dear friends, a very serious subject about a very serious problem. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has 8,000 $674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even help negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Now, my friends, as you know, something which is very, very critical is happening right now. And that is, and let me tell you again, remember, go to the very top of this. I have this link. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter, because people are signing up like mad, and I'm throwing a lot of things at you, which are very interesting. Now, let me explain a couple of things to you. First of all, Cut Up Chatter says illusion by light. I don't know what that means. Illusion by light. It's interesting. And Raul says, will a fan club be developed for Luigi? I think it already has. We're kind of getting tired of the Luigi thing. The Luigi story, I think we're kind of losing. It's just not. There's really no story there to it. It's losing its oomph. This is the story. This is the story. So let me go back to what's going on. Let me tell you my story, my foray. Right after 9/11, because I was here at 9/11 and here in New York City. I think I told you this. This is all there. And it was on that Tuesday. I was in the middle of this and shocked beyond belief. This is what was going on. One day, one day I was talking live when all of a sudden, uh, Cut Up Cheddar says, "That is what Blue Beam is." No, that's not what it is, Cut Up Cheddar, but thank you. We'll get to that in a moment. That's not what it. No, 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 no. We'll get to this. Remember, research, 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 research. Takes you 5 minutes. Research before you say, "I think," I'm not saying you're doing this, but I think it's no, no, research it. Research it. But anyway, I was on the air and somebody was talking about Flight 93. Flight 93 was Shanksville. This is the plane that went on Todd Beamer. Let's roll the whole bit. And I'm looking for the pictures of a plane crash. I'm an adult. I've seen plane crashes before. By the way, do not be surprised. And I'm time out. I'm not saying this ghoulishly. Don't be surprised if Nancy Pelosi doesn't pull out of this thing, because she's old, and you know what happens when people get into hips and they break things and they have surgery and the anesthesia and they get the UTI. It's just so. And I don't wish this on anybody. I don't care about her politics. I'm not one of these people who ghoulishly wants people to die hideous deaths. That's not me. Pilgrim Media says Project Bluebeam, New World Order, blah blah blah. No, no. Again, you're dismissing this. That's like saying atoms, things spin around, electrons, whatever. No. Christianity, a guy dies on the cross, virgin birth. No. Do not think. Use your head. Immerse yourself. Learn. Think. Become immersed in the subject. then ask, well, why is this? You folks can talk about the most specious religious theories about virgins, this and that, and angels and saints and all that, and think nothing of it. And I can say that's complete and total bullshit. You say, wait a minute, hold it, wait a minute. But if I'm telling you, no, no, listen to this one. No, no, that's. I love the way people do it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So as I was looking for this Flight 93 and, plane debris, wings, engines, 6 ton, these titanium, which is, this is what space modules are made of. It's indestructible. Wheels, but beverage carts, people, magazines, uh, seats, luggage. There's nothing there. You can still see it. There's a little dimple, little divot with some steam. And I said, "Where's the plane?" And somebody said, "What are you getting at?" I said, "What do you mean?" They say, and that's when I was introduced to the conspiracy theory. I didn't know anything about it, or what it's called now, that you can't say this. And I'm saying, but wait a minute. I'm asking a question. This was 23 years ago. This was 23 years ago. Let's see. 23. So Candace Owens was 12. She was 12 when this happened, and that's great. Doesn't really matter. And people like, Charlie Kirk was even he was what was this, 11? No, 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 no. He was 8. Excuse me. 8. So listen, I mean, you don't have to have been born then. I wasn't alive during, World War II, but I mean, anyway. So what happens is people are just sitting back and they're saying, "No, no, no, let me explain this." Whether it's religion, God, Saint Paul, the virgin birth, Allah, Abraham, Heisenberg, anything. Step number one, immerse yourself in it. What are they saying? What are people saying? What are they saying? That's number one. Critical, 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 critical. What are these people saying? What is the actual subject matter? Don't assume you know it. Don't be like these people who just start answering questions that have no idea of what it is. It's a fascinating subject. Bluebeam is not merely some fringe, quote, conspiracy theory, but a concept that has garnered significant attention and should be approached with a critical eye. Now, this, of course, this is important. This is, remember, just want to tell you again, if you don't sign up for my newsletter, I'm going to hit you with stuff and send you places so that you can research this. Don't take my word for it. See what people are saying. Remember, there are people. Tolstoy was this crazy looking dude who was pretty good. Solzhenitsyn wasn't. Einstein, they laugh at him. Who is this crazy guy with a patent office? We just have these immediate means of dismissing things. In any event, it originated from quains made by the Quebecois, this Quebec dude named Serge Monast, like monastic, monastery, like monast, in 1994. And the theory that posits that NASA, in collaboration with the UN. Now remember, just before, dear friends, before you poo-poo this, before you start saying, "Oh, this is crazy stuff. This is low." Okay, before you do it. Like Forrest says, I'm more familiar with Project Bluebell. That's interesting. I don't know what that means, but thank you. It's funny. I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know half of the time. In any event, so the theory is that NASA, in collaboration with kind of like UN types of organizations, aim to implement a new age religion under the guise of the Antichrist, ultimately leading to the establishment of a new world order through a technologically simulated second coming. That's what Bluebeam is. It's not just, hey, there's some, they want kind of a Hegelian reaction to this. Like, oh my God, look at this. No, 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 this is different. Now, the origins of this. Monast introduced Project Bluebeam in his book published the same year. By the way, here's some research, or if you should do, look at what happened to Monast later on. You're going to have to do this now. You're going to have to dig a little bit. It's very easy. That device you're watching me on right now is a veritable endless sea of information. So the theory, let me see, it goes like this. So he publishes this book in the same year, asserting that the project, he said, was set to be implemented in 1983, then rescheduled for 95 and 96, with the final supposed deadline being the year 2000. Each deadline passed without incident, yet the theory and the idea has persisted and evolved. Now, again, I'm just telling you what they're saying. I'm just learning, I think, as you are, just to hear what they have to say. If I've spent my whole life listening to everything about religion and angels and Jesus and God, and I listen to them, I just say, that's crap. I just listen to it. Okay. Now, the theory has, of course, been a favorite of the internet, fueled by monasts' lectures and some documents which were disseminated, including translations and summaries of his work. Now, the propagation of this has been significantly amplified by, of course, the digital age, with various interpretations and extensions and reinterpretations of the original claims that were proliferating online. Now, the narrative has been linked to numerous other, quote, conspiracy theories. And remember, a conspiracy does not mean crazy. A conspiracy means two or more people combined and confederated. A conspiracy is like saying a dozen. It's almost you could have a conspiracy. Normally, conspiracies are good, but I would think that Santa Claus might be a conspiracy theory, depending upon how you look at it. In any event, it's been linked to other theories, including HARP and 9/11, and even certain cultural phenomenon, like music videos and suggesting a grand unified conspiracy or thought, which is what people think. Okay, so here's the component. Step one, and this is interesting: archaeological disruption. This is critical. The theory suggests the creation of fake. This is good. I mean, again, I'm not saying I approve of this. I just like it's interesting. But the theory, the hypothesis, I guess, suggests the creation of fake archaeological discoveries through induced or orchestrated natural disasters like earthquakes, aimed at discrediting existing religious doctrines, particularly Christianity and Islam. Okay? Think about this. Weather. Always important. Next two, the holographic spectacle. This is my favorite. This step involves using, again, you're going to say, Bluebeam, they're talking about drones over Jersey. Well, this is what Bluebeam is. They're kind of suggesting it's Bluebeam, but it's not. Anyway, so there's this holographic technology. It projects images of deities or some messianic figure into the sky, which is intended to, I guess, merge or combine or concatenate all of this into a single figure, identified as the Antichrist. And the plan assumes further an unprecedented level of technological manipulation to deceive the populace on a grand global scale. Next, telepathic manipulation. This is interesting. The theory claims the use of extreme low frequency radio waves to communicate directly with individuals, simulating some kind of divine or telepathic communication, thereby manipulating some religious belief. The fourth step, the final deception. This step involves staging an alien invasion or some rapture-like, dare I say, eschatological event to break down societal structures, leading to the acceptance of a new world order. And the theory includes one of advanced technology to simulate these events, suggesting a readiness or people being prone to some mass manipulation. Now, this is interesting. The considerations of this. First of all, there's a psychological event. Remember, everything to me depends upon the psychology of events. Even if the actual execution of this project seems implausible, the psychological preparation through media, and now add to this digital platforming and Candace Owens, who all of a sudden she's on board. She's into everything. I mean, she's like, she just saw loose change the other day and said, this is the most incredible thing. Okay. Anyway, so this kind of a priming, so to speak, the psychological and emotional preparation through media and technology, as Mr. Monast suggests, points to a bigger concern about how narratives can be shaped to influence public perception. And we are the most prone to handle and to deal with the notion of public perceptions and the like. The next consideration is the plausibility of this. While some of these technologies I'm really not too sure about, described by Monas, involve kind of weird ideas, kind of stretches the credibility. The evolution of holography, psychological operations, communications, all of this warrant a cautious examination. At the 5th anniversary of 9/11, I was downtown, and there were people who were swearing that what they saw was a hologram, planes going in. I thought, okay, well, and again, there was a lot of folks out there. Remember, there are people who believe in Lourdes. There are people who believe in religious statues that weep. So if you think this is crazy, you're not paying attention. Now, there's cultural and there's other things. This kind of blue beam thing touches on significant themes of control, religion, global governance, and it should make people fear about the erosion of natural and cultural identities in favor of some monolithic global kind of a reconfiguration. The way, for example, we see in the unions, European Union and the like, the EU. Are you following this? Are you paying attention? And as I speak to you, I love this. People are just talking, which is great, which is wonderful. I love this. Thermite. You just say something and they're off to the races. Each person trying to show everybody else how much they know. Look how much I know. I know about this. Never questions always this apodictic thing. Okay, fine. That's all right. Listen, I've been doing this long enough to know how you folks pay attention. Now, so Project Bluebeam, while based in kind of speculation and whatever it is, and many people consider admittedly implausible scenario, it underscores the real world anxieties. And that's what's interesting about power, technology, and the manipulation of belief. And it serves as a reminder to be vigilant against both. But that means even religious proponents. You see, the misuse of technology and psychological tactics and all this stuff, this could very seriously undermine structures and the like. So what this means is for people to understand and sit back. Do not comment necessarily. Do not comment. Do not show people. And when I meet people, I never try to throw things at them to show everybody how smart I am. I want people to learn. I want to ask people questions. At my party lesson, I was talking to a very staunch, I shouldn't say staunch, a very fine Republican, very good guy. And I said to him, do you think for a moment that on October the 7th, this attack, this, Hamas, I said, do you think this is even remotely possible that Israel? He goes, oh no. And he's a Jewish man, he says, no way. I said, do you think, and what I'm doing is, instead of me saying, I think it was a lie hop or maybe a lie hop, let it happen on purpose, I ask a question. So what many people do is they always have to do, they say like, it's thermite, and this and that, and the beams were, I know this. And what about this? What about this? What about that? What about the PDB? What about the dancing Israelis? And people are, so you're not teaching anybody anything. And when you want to talk about 9/11, for example, which everybody wants to do, you start off like this. You ask somebody, you say, have you ever seen one of those casinos, whenever they want to detonate one? You've seen them in LA. I mean, in Las Vegas. You notice how they just go like that? You notice that? I said, didn't that kind of look like that? Yeah. Or have them say, no, it didn't look like that, which is ridiculous because it did look like that. But you ask people. You don't bludgeon them. You don't truncheon them. You don't hit them over the head with how much, well, it's thermite. It's a military grade. You know, to cut through steel. What about this? What about this? What about the Russian who said there wasn't any? And the ground glass. It's like, and you start, because people love, especially in our groups, they love to tell you how much. Well, it's HARP. HARP, of course, is rural. That's weather manipulation. You understand that? And that's Project Blueberg. And that's Project. And I know that's paperclip, and you have to do this. We have to teach. We have to teach slowly. By the way, it's PDB, the Presidential Daily Briefing. You have to do this slowly. And the subject last night at this event with a lot of people was very interesting. The number one thing, the drones, not Luigi. That's over with. We don't care. The story's over. It's done. It's finished. It's through. It's like the P. Diddy story. What is it? Well, they're going to, what do you think's going to happen? I don't know. They're going to find their 3 accusers. Okay, so what? No. The issue is this and this. And what you do is like I did. And I love to say to people, I love to lure them and say, what do you think this is about? And it tells me what they know, because most people, as you know, they just read headlines. They know nothing about what's happening. They have no interest in what happened. They just know there was something like, maybe they heard about drones. Maybe they watched Fox News. Maybe they know there's these drones out there. And they're not sure and they're not, you know what I mean? They just don't really know. And these aren't little drones. So you always do this. You always do this. Now, the question I have, and I ask people this all the time, is, for example, when I talk about this, prepare with Lionel, this is my favorite. Especially say, do you know if something goes wrong, if all of a sudden these things start firing, shooting, jamming, affecting the grid, do you know what you're being told? You're being softened up. You're being told, in essence, oh, well, we're getting used to everybody saying, hey, what's that? And then going back inside. That's it. That's what they're doing. And then, boom. Right now, Bobby Kennedy is making, everybody's talking about Bobby Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy was a heroin addict who all of a sudden is Mr. Health. Good for you. Bobby Kennedy took a picture of taking a turkey, which is whatever it is, and boiling it in oil, frying turkey. He's worried about your health, but it doesn't matter because he does push-ups and he says this. I'm saying, what are you talking about? I don't understand what in any event, it's okay. It's what people think. The first thing that will happen whenever there's any kind of a problem, remember, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a continuation of that. What am I trying to say? Of that, the strike, the dock worker strike, because they never ended it. They just kind of suspended it. And if that happens, it's just hell to pay. So that's why right now, what you have to do is not sit back and watch Fox News and not say, hey, isn't this great? Isn't this wonderful? Isn't it? No, you've got to prepare. Prepare with Lionel.com. There's a Christmas deal, the lowest 4-week emergency food supply order I've ever seen. It's that simple. Period. They're not going to help you. They're not going to help you. And while we're on the subject, they're coming after our friend Mike Lindell like you cannot believe. Every time this guy, they're predicting the end and they want him out of business. I don't know what it is. He's doing great. And the best way to continue this great man doing great is to go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or mypillow.com/Lionel. Take your credit card, buy everything they have, use promo code Lionel, and give them as gifts. Nobody doesn't pillows and towels. It doesn't, you never even thought about it. Especially for younger people, they got a new apartment or a new, whatever it is, okay? So mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, and prepare with Lionel.com, okay? It's very important. Now, what we have to do is we have to teach people, all of us, to go out. Believe me when I tell you this. For 23 years, 9/11, which everybody loves, and apparently people are talking about, which is great. Candace Owens just discovered it, which is good. You are not able, well, not you, they are not able to be able to say, with some inference. For example, the dancing Israelis, Israel was behind it. Wait a minute. If they were French, would Macron, they jump to this thing. Okay, fine. So Israel brought down the towers. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Israel did it. Why? Because they saw these guys dancing in Jersey City. And don't forget, there was the truck they stopped with the Israelis, and they were on Israeli TV that night. Did you remember that one? Yeah. What does that mean? Can you prove anything with that? Can you prove? No. It just means, that's interesting. Now, right now, we have this idea. And whenever I say, I believe something, I have scoured it to the point where I am just. And when I'm saying, what do you believe? What do you believe? Not wish, not think, not hope, not suspect. What do you believe? You don't know. Here we go. You always got to do this. USS Liberty, you got to do this. Candace Owens just figured out the Liberty. Just figured it out. She just, it's brand new to her. And let me just tell you something about Candace Owens. They are going to make a grease spot out of her just to teach her a lesson. See, she thinks I'm invincible now. I'm going to take on you. I'm going to take on Ben Shapiro, the Zionist, and I'm going to do it. Doesn't matter how you, doesn't matter. There's a lot of people out there, Mearsheimer and others, and Max Blumenthal, probably the best, very, very calm, very, dare I say, respectful. But Candace Owens, she's pissed off. She's taken them because they ruffled her feathers. Ben Shapiro basically, did the glove in her face. And she says, I'm going to go after Israel and I'm going to show you. And they're going to say, okay, let's get, it's called Project Let's Get Candace Owens. Somebody's got to teach her a lesson. And what I'm saying is, Candace, pump the brakes a little bit. Do what your thing is, but take it easy. Do you not learn from anybody? You'll be far more interesting to people, and your career will do a lot better if you don't take on the 800-pound gorilla and coming at it with this vengeance. Talk about it. Please bring up the liberty. Bring up the liberty. You know how I do it? Say, hey, Dave. Your name's not Dave, huh? Okay. Well, have you ever heard of the USS Liberty? Have you ever heard of that? Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Because what happened, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Now understand something. Candace has more viewers than Ben, and Joe Rogan has more viewers than Candace. And what does that mean? I don't know. The point is, irrespective, pay attention to what's happening here. Pay attention. We get off track with fantasies. Cliff says this. What does that mean? Whose fantasies? You mean like religion? Now, wait a minute. Because I think that's a fantasy. Wait a minute. Hold it. You can't say that. Well, that's what I think. I think they think it's the most preposterous thing. The Bible? Okay, now you've gone too far. See, you can't say that. But you can say something else, which is another story. Now, for example, Spandex says people talks about seeing molten steel. Yes. Now, let me ask you something. This is the most important. Spandex says, I was in the lobby of World Trade Center 6 when the South Tower was demolished. An hour after the North Tower collapsed, I saw molten steel. The jet fuel was well burnt off in a flash. Now, how do, again, it's a very, very, very interesting. Now, see, everybody says, this is, by the way, the jet fuel. This is old stuff. We've already been through this one before. Richard Gage, talk about that. Used to be architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth. And then he went a little bit hard and they got rid of him and whatever it was. We'll get off of that. Now, remember something. Let me go back to this. Who did it? Who did it? If you don't believe the official story, if you don't believe jet fuel did it, my question is, well, who did it? Because that's not the story. You don't know. You don't know. JRR says Luigi will fry. Nah, I don't think anybody's going to care anything about him. He might get hit at first with a hard sentence, and then later on some parole. People aren't going to pay attention to him. They like him. Wait till it comes out, if we don't know, but if he's gay, that changes it. And the reason why is, believe it or not, I hate to say it, but if a lot of women find him attractive or cute or whatever the hell it is they say today, and they find out later on that that real estate is not available, that changes tremendously the public perception. Okay? You understand this? Look at this. Luigi is a boss killer. They have to make an example of him now. No, they won't. No, they won't. No, they won't. You're not listening. And by the way, lay off the capitals. No need for that. Okay, so this is interesting. Look at this one. Yes, Hawaii, like California, what can melt aluminum and not burn trees? Don't make sense. Now let me ask you something. Black, whatever. Do you know this to be true? Can you tell me where you've heard this? What? Can you tell me where you've heard this? Where I've heard it? You know the story. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. And they made it sound like she was into a Jewish anti-Semitic Rothschild blue laser conspiracy. No, that's not what she said. Now, let me ask you something. This is perfect. This is a great tutorial, ladies and gentlemen. Let's assume that we have this area, and right in the middle, we have this thing here, and this represents a house. And the house is surrounded by trees and forest, and it's in this Northern California. And all of a sudden, this is on fire, and it's demolished, but there's nothing around it. How? What the hell? How do you explain that? Or, conversely, this is saved, but everything around is burned. How do you explain that? Where do you get your information? Huh? Where do you get your information? What do you mean, where do I get my information? Where did you hear that there were these people around from the whatever the... And I remember hearing or seeing anecdotes. I remember seeing something online about maybe a light or something. I don't know. I thought maybe I might have seen some. I don't know. I can't go on the record and say, yep, that's the official reason for this. But where do you get this from? Where do you get this information from? How do you know what you know? Tell me. Where are they? I want to go right now. I want to learn. Tell me where I can go to find about these houses that were spared when all of the real estate around it was burned. Where do I go for that? First question, be on the lookout for this. If you don't have any evidence of this, you're wasting my time. You're wasting my time. How do you know this? How do you know this? Which is one of those things. So it just goes to show you. I will tell you some absolute incredible, to me, the most fantastic 9/11 story, which I don't know what to make out of it. 9/11, Flight 93, Shanksville. There's no plane. You can talk about this all day long. None. Now, I don't know about you, but what if I told you, hey, what about the USS Liberty? And I told you then, there was no USS Liberty. What? There was no USS. I'm just saying that you would say, what do you mean there's no USS? Well, what the hell am I talking about? Well, that's what I say when I tell people, what do you think? This Shanksville, you have this obelisk or this Trump's been there, Obama's been there. What are you talking about? There's no plane there. None. The debris is in Indian Lake or New Baltimore, about 8 miles away. It's a debris field. It seems like logic would say if it spreads, probably either exploded in the air, was shot down in the air, but there was some that logically, and I don't know the course of that. Okay, assuming that to be true, here's the thing, which I want you to understand. What does it tell you about anything other than the whole story? I don't know. So let's assume that Flight 93 is bullshit. Okay, what does it mean? Does it change everything? No. Does it mean the Israelis did it? No. What does it mean? I don't know. You're always going to be able to find something that doesn't make any sense. Okay? So just remember that. And if you're going to get Project Bluebeam, I'll get you. I promise you, you never heard, you never researched it. And when I told you, Bluebeam has nothing to do with. It's about this fake second Christ and the Antichrist. It does. People think, oh, it's a beam of light and it's blue, or no, because people don't research anything. They don't. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And we, who are the ones who are demanding the truth, we gotta have the truth. God damn it, the truth. We don't even do the research to find out what the truth is. I don't get that. I don't get it at all. It's amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. It just kills me. I am more fascinated by, how do I say this? I am more fascinated by the psychology involved in this than the actual behaviors themselves. Let me ask you a question. As we speak, who's protecting your data? Who and what is protecting you from the prying eyes of, dare I say, aliens? Let me ask you a question. When's the last time you checked your devices for malware? Malware attacks have increased 643% since 2020, with approximately 10 million personal and corporate devices compromised with data stealing malware in just the last year alone. Additionally, 19.8% of computers face at least one malware attack annually. This emphasizes the critical need for individual users to protect themselves, their devices, and their data. This is why I use today's sponsor, Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro, and I love the peace of mind it gives me. Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro is an award-winning antivirus with real-time protection, malware removal, ad blocking, scheduled scans, multi-device protection, and more that stops malicious downloads in their tracks. Without Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro, I would risk my finances, banking details, personal data, and more getting into the hands of cyber criminals. Thanks again to Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro for sponsoring today's extravaganza. And do yourself a favor and sign up for a free 7-day free trial, of Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro during their early Black Friday sale happening now, and get up to 75% off. Yes, you heard that. Up to 75% off. Only at virtualshield.com/Lionel. Once again, that's virtualshield.com/Lionel. My friends, I want you to remember one thing, which is my goal is to make you know how to think and how to be rather perspicacious and very careful before you begin to say you believe in something. Ladies and gentlemen, a man by the name of Warren Ocasio-Cortez says, Florida woman arrested after threatening Blue Cross Blue Shield, followed denied medical benefits. Free speech or free Spock? I don't know. From Spock, from also Spock Zarathustra. Is that some Nietzschean reference? You see, Ocasio, when he speaks, it may seem like this is just some erratum, some misspelling. Oh no, 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 no. The level of symbology and the semiotics of what he portrays. Oh, it comes across as this hastily typed, kind of a disconnected drivel. Oh no, no, no. I thank you. Thank you. Jimmy V says, Lionel, you have been trained to do research. Most people haven't. They just accept answers. Absolutely. Okay. Null hypothesis in a desperate attempt to be funny, in a desperate yet valiant attempt to be funny. Nancy's chest fun bags cushioned her fall. She shattered a hip. She needs surgery. And don't be surprised if she doesn't. And when I say this happens so many times to elderly people. And if you think that's funny, well, that makes one of us. You see, you're trying, Null, and I appreciate that. You try, you really try, because that's what you do. It's why we love you. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. We will see you tonight at 7. Don't forget, make sure you sign, because within 5 minutes, right now, we're going to be having a release of the latest Lionel Nation newsletter as we speak. This is critical news. Critical. Make sure, dear friends, that you absolutely, positively sign up. Let me give you this link right now. This is so important. This is everything from, from Mangione, but I think that's dull. I don't think anybody gives a shit anymore about him. I really don't. Here it is. Sign up right now. Hurry, or because you have less than 6 minutes to sign up. It's important. Okay? All right, dear friends. Have a great and a glorious day. Oh, and by the way, to Warren Ocasio, Fred Pound, Pilgrim Media, Cut Up Chatter, and Raul, thank you so much. Have a great day. And don't forget these final words. A monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. That.